Hi everybody, this is Rob and Kurt with Two Brothers Hobby, and today we're taking a look at the SebArt Sukhoi 29S 140E. And as you can clearly see, the planes are starting to outgrow the bench.
Yeah, a little larger than the set was intended.
Yeah. Should I build a bigger one?
We just need to move the camera further and further back,
okay.
I think. We'll be fine.
We look better
to
that
me,
way,
the effort's worth it because, you know, we're getting them some really exciting platforms.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to do when we have the 118-inch wingspan review we have coming up on the bench, but
do that in a warehouse
we'll have to do it in split screen or something. The SebArt Sukhoi was a kind of a neat project for us. If you were out in Toledo and visited our booth at the Week Signal Show, we had the SebArt, or the Sukhoi there, and one of the neat things we did with it is we went ahead and loaded it completely with all of the blue sensor station telemetry sensors from Hitec. So it's kind of a neat way to demonstrate what you can do currently with technology with an electric platform and then running full telemetry. So we've had a good time with this. We also took it down to Joe Knoll, had Brandon Chitty fly it, who's a pro pilot for Hitec. So we have some great demonstration flight there, as well as we flew it and tested it. So it's a nice culmination of a pro's perspective and then more of the hobbyist perspective.
Yeah.
But what we wanted to do with the 140E was equip it front to back with what you'd get into at this class and not break the bank.
Yeah.
We didn't choose the fastest servos, but we chose high voltage servos. We chose high torque, ultra high torque servos, so you get good performance off the platform. But your power plant isn't outgrowing your servo holding capabilities or capacity at the control surface. But you can always continue to grow with it. In fact, the power plant we can jump up cells. We can go to a 12S configuration. We can play around some different prop configurations and really ring out the platform, as well as pull and drop in higher torque servos. So it's a really easy upgrade path. And we thought the SebArt was a great way to do that since it's such a versatile platform. So let's go ahead and jump into some specs real quick. The SebArt Sukhoi 29S 140E has a 76-inch wingspan, has a wing area of 1,270 square inches, an overall length of 76 inches. Now the weight, all up weight, is 8.8 to 9.2 pounds is the range that they give you. Depending on your power plant configuration, you can be a little heavier or on the lighter side, depending on your setup. The recommended motor from SebArt is a Hacker A60 22S. The recommended ESC is a Hacker X80 Opto Pro. The recommended battery size is a 10S 37 volt LiPo, around 4,000, 4,100 milliamp. We went with a 4,400 milliamp on our test setup. And then the recommended radio system is a 7+ channel radio system with 5 HD standard servos. Now, Two Brothers setup in particular, the way this is laid out is we went with a Hitec. We used the Hitec Aurora 9 transmitter and tied that into an Optima 9 receiver. We used HS 5685MH high voltage servos. They're ultra high torque servos as well. Hitec full telemetry pack. Again, that's the blue sensor station for electrics. We used a Castle Creation CC Beck Pro to power the 7.4 volt of the high voltage side of the radio system. And then Majorlic also contributed a 20 by 10 EL and a 20 by 12 EL. This is their ultra light series carbon fiber props for testing for Brandon's flight and for the more aggressive flights. And then we also went with the APC 20.5 by 12E stock prop setup as well. So again, the neat thing about this is such a versatile platform. You can play around and kind of fine-tune it exactly how you want it to perform. And in fact, when I went to my test flying, I went with Brandon's setup. And I'll tell you, for the average flyer that maybe dabbles in 3D and dabbles in helicopters, when you get a pro pilot set up in your hands, it makes you realize, makes you really appreciate how smooth those guys are on the sticks, because it was an awakening for me.
I'm sure
I found myself snapping down into low rates way more than I thought it would be. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the flight footage. Now, one of the things we can cover on this briefly is we will have on the review page the entire electrical system layout. There's a lot of connections using the telemetry system. And one of the unique things about this actually is with the Hacker, the X80 Opto Pro ESC, it has a pre-charge input on it. Now what that is when you get into the higher voltage and the higher amperage ESCs, those capacitors just get slammed whenever you plug in that connector. And we use Dean's connectors, and you'll see that little arc, and you'll start getting a lot of carbon buildup on that connector. So what you use and what we use is an Anderson power pole. And in fact, this product came from Hymax Products.
Okay.
They make these Anderson power pole disconnects, and it just pretty much wires into your system. We used one where we could solder it in exactly the way we wanted to, but The nice thing about this is I have a momentary push button to pre-charge that capacitor off the battery lead, and then until I put the Dean's or the Anderson power pole in, that's when the whole system comes on with full amperage. So you've already preloaded those caps, already pre-charged those caps. You don't get that hard pop. The nice thing too is when we came down, it was real convenient to come off the flight line and just yank this power pole, and everything was dead. We didn't have to worry about a live prop or anything. So
it's a nice safety feature too, really, because it allows you to position yourself more comfortably to just pop in a than to fight with the Deans and
and I mean you're looking at a a 2 3/4 horsepower motor. There's a lot of power there, and you don't want to have
very intimidating.
Absolutely, and typically with a lot of the larger balsa build-up models, it isn't like a quick release where you can pull the connector. There's a couple screws to get the canopy off. It's a little bit of a process. So having this power pole is just such a slick, easy way to be able to disconnect and,
makes sense. Really does.
And power down your system. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the flight footage and make sure you come back for part 2, the review scoring.
With the setup right now, that's hands off upside down. That's hands off upside down. Okay. Start 17 amp. What? Hold on. 20 amp. 30 amp.
You need to prop that thing.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
This was just a test prop. So
there you go.
I brought a 500 watts board. Now it's like they hit like 45. Now it's not reading. Yeah. 35 amps. Oh no, that's volts.
90 amp speed on the battery. C rating.
That's like 47 amps. 47. 47 amps? 50 amps, 53. What? Oh, you know what? It had the 200. It had. This was set up to the 50 amp sensor. It's 5 minutes. 5 minute flight? Well, so far, yeah. Battery voltage is still at 35. What do you want to do? We're down to 30 volts. has the warning. You should be fine, right? As long as you aren't hovering at that moment. Yeah, use some mid-altitude pattern type stuff. Run the path out there. Mid-altitude for that. There.
Basically, some will go behind that clock and another minute.
Bring it over, bring it over. Right.